carry it when we go to hunt it. Bag. Two little ones. Let's see what we got here for a few. Welcome to Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. We're not going to hunt this afternoon. We're going to put a ground blind on a pond in a valley, and we're going to hang a tree stand above it further up the side of the ridge. It's going to be a little bit sketchy. I don't know how well we're going to be able to get in there. You know, we'll have to take a chainsaw with. We might have to cut our way in, but I think once that blind gets in there, it may stay there. I hate leaving a trailer blind in one spot forever, because then you're like, why did I bother buying a trailer? But getting this one in there, we'll see. Maybe it won't be as bad as I think. So we've talked about being more aggressive. So on today's episode, we're going to show you a couple of ways in which you're going to be more aggressive this season. Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Code of Silence Apparel, the Hunt Stand app, Whitetail Institute, Research Equals Results, B3 Archery, Muddy Outdoors Tree Stands, Stealth Cam Trail Cameras, My Outdoor TV, and Hoyt. One of the spots that we've kind of targeted this year to spend more time is the big timber. We've hunted the fringes a lot over the past few seasons, and the deer on this farm don't seem to come out much compared to other places that I've hunted. They seem to stay back in the deeper timber, and I consider that to be aggressive hunting, because you're getting closer to where they bed. You know, it's sort of like, I won't call it all or nothing, but you can mess up a spot pretty fast when you go in after them. But if we've learned anything on this farm, we don't have a whole lot of choice, because they don't seem to come out. And maybe that'll change, you know, as time goes on, but it's been a frustrating trait, I guess, of this property. We've talked about the need in some cases to stay in overnight, to sleep in the woods. You know, you hunt a great spot. How do you get back out of there without bumping a bunch of deer, especially in this country where it's all coming down off the bluffs into the valleys? So we've talked about just staying out. And this blind is going to be that perfect stopover point for us. We're going halfway up a valley. We're going to put it on a water hole. It's a cool spot, you know, and if it's a warm rut, it could be a really, really key spot for us to hunt. And then we'll continue on foot, carrying the stands further up that draw to the very head. And that's where we'll hang those. And generally in this country, what you've got are the deer bed on these points, on these ridge points. And then they go around the draws, kind of like the head of the draw. You'll find some really nice funnels in those spots. They usually don't just go straight down the valley and then straight up, you know, onto the next ridge. Generally, they work their way around. So we're going to go, like I said, farther up that draw and place the tree stand. So now we have two options when we go in there. We can short stop and we can hunt the blind on the water hole, where it would be probably swirling too much to hunt out of a tree stand anyway. Or we can go all the way up to the top of the draw and hunt the tree stand. Then at the end of legal shooting time, we again have the option of, you know, either sleeping in the blind and not having to come all the way back out, and then being right there in the morning, you know, without having to go in and be sitting right on that water hole again.
Which is cool.
Be really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think we'll get tired of, you know, kind of the, if we do much of it, of the sleeping out, but there's no doubt that that's the way to hunt this. You know, and it kind of goes back to what I've said before. If you can't sneak in and sneak out without the deer knowing, you've got a couple of options, one of which is don't hunt that spot or don't leave, which, you know, we tried not hunting those spots.
Yeah.
that didn't work for us.
Yeah.
So now we're going to try not leaving. So that's the today's episode, we'll hopefully get this blind set on that water hole. That'll be really cool. I think you're going to be really surprised. Carson, you've seen it, I've seen it, but the viewers have never seen this spot.
Right. It's cool.
It's really cool. It's way back in the middle of the farm, right tucked down in a little valley. And there's always water in there. I mean, it's got to be, they have to be using it during the rut.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Yeah. Right on him.
It's going to be right on top of me. So much for being low impact. This is a cool spot, but every deer in this county knows that this is the danger zone now. If we wanted to, we could come in right up the ditch. You know, we could saw that ditch out, you know, not today probably, but well, you could come right up that ditch and right into the ladder.
Yeah, those were kind of a thing of the past, but a lot of guys still use them.
I use them. I used to. I had one that was scent proof, that was made out of like vinyl or something.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I could keep all my stuff in that, and then the deer couldn't smell all my stuff.
Let's see if I can get these in here.
Looks like I got an antenna or something from another planet.
Some of our ideas are
From another planet.
from another planet, I think.
I think we've got to follow deer trails. Drop our stuff off here. Maybe. Watch out. We definitely want to be right in those, that elm, that hackberry, or that oak. Then we can cover that trail right there. I think the one on the lower end would be about 30 yards, maybe 25 to 30. It'd be downhill, but it drops off fast, so maybe our scent would go above it. Then there's a really good trail here. And no doubt there's one right on this side of that clearing. I mowed that clearing a couple weeks ago when we went in here. So let's take a look and see what it looks like up there. There's no crossings, no trails between where we dropped off the tree stands in this opening. So either they're going through the opening, and I thought about putting the blind in there. That was my other thought. But that water hole is going to be pretty cool too. Tempting. It's tempting to want to put the stand right here on this clearing, because the shooting lanes would be awesome. You'd be able to get really good footage. It'd be a really pretty spot. You're up on top. You could see off into the distance. I mean, as far as enjoyable hunting, it'd be pretty hard to beat. But I still think that a lot of the deer moving during the rut are going to be below us. Those trails don't have a lot of use right now. There's no reason for the deer to be using them. They don't really lead anywhere. But during the rut, when the bucks are going from these points where the does bed to the next point where more does, you know, possibly would be bedded, these trails get hit a lot. So this is more like rut travel. I'm not saying that nothing's going to come through and smell where we walked, but it's not like every deer in this area is using that trail system now. They're all towards the food somewhere. Well, they're probably eating acorns. So I don't know where they are. This whole thing is just going to be a grand experiment, because there's so many questions about which way to get in. We can come in from the opposite direction. We could come in from the west, come all the way over the top and then down into that stand, or we could come in the way we came in with the tractor, you know, up the valley behind through that cornfield and then up, and that would be, you know, we'd bump into deer probably, but if you did it at noon, you wouldn't. If it's windy, you came in at noon, hunted, slept in the blind, until midday the next day, and then left, I think you'd get away with it. It's that coming and going at daybreak and, you know, the like last light.
Yeah.
That's what gets you in trouble. So we're gonna get this one hung, and then we'll break back in for our official close. But I like this. I like the setup, but like I said, it's all gonna be one big experiment. But we like that. We enjoy trying stuff and seeing if it works. I'm just glad that we're not hanging tree stands for a living. Being paid by the stand,
Yeah, that would be bad.
we'd be going broke right now. Boy, this hanging 2 stands in a tree set up for filming takes a lot longer than what a guy thinks. It's pretty easy to hang 1 stand, but when you got to put that second one in there, everything kind of gets thrown out the window. I think we're set up though. This should be a really, really nice spot. We left enough scent. We made enough noise that hopefully we chased everything out of here before, you know, we had a chance to actually spook them. This is, I'm looking forward to this one, and we've got 2 or 3 others scattered around this ridge complex now. And at least one of these is going to produce a big deer for us.
It looks really good from up there.
Yeah, I think we're in the money. That blind on that water hole, that'll be interesting. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but if at the bare minimum, it's going to be a place where we can sleep.
Right.
So we can come in here on a windy day, midday, with bedding areas all around, get into this tree, hunt it, and then at the end of legal shooting time, just sneak down, get into that blind, and then either sneak back up to the tree first thing in the morning, or just hunt the water hole in the morning. So that's the master plan. What do you think of it?
I like this spot a lot. It looks really good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna kill some deer here. Well, we better quit because it's dark. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you right back here again soon for the next episode of Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. And remember to always dream
Big.